So, good evening. What what is going on, you might say? Where have you been, Ken? If you're a regular, which you probably aren't. I don't have a lot of those, but in the unlikely scenario that you have stopped by on occasion to see what the heck is going on, you might have noticed I have not been online these last few days. What does that mean? Well, nothing. It just means I've been working on stuff that is just taken up a lot of my time. I am still working. I'm constantly working. Don't worry. I haven't disappeared. In fact, I've had uh, I've had probably more focus these last few days, and that's probably why I haven't been streaming as much. Um, I have been work. What the heck's my camera? Hold on, that camera's about to fall off my. So I've been working quite a bit on a number of issues. You can see here on my screen, I've got a number of red errors in Unity. So here's what I've done recently. I've refactored a lot of my API calls because they were a little inconsistent, sloppy, and they weren't named well. Okay, so I am working with AI, and every now and then, probably every 4 to 6 weeks, it seems like, I spend a day or two or three refactoring, cleaning stuff up, and oftentimes I implement a significant piece of missing code. Um, in this case, the big missing code was as I find more and more that as I pull data, I don't want to keep going back to the network, right? I don't want to take my data that I have locally and have to go back and get it again later if somebody keeps returning. So what that means is, um, okay, so I want to be able to make the application run locally, as in you can do everything that's done over the network that on your phone when you're disconnected from the network. Now this is a tricky architecture. I want to make sure that it gets implemented correctly, and in doing that, that means I have to have the foresight. My code has to have what I call it future proofing in it, built-in future proofing. But in order to do that, I got to keep a constant eye on how I pull data, how I'm using data, how things are going to work. And ultimately, what that ended up being was me having to fully architect what local AI or local processing, local functioning is going to be. I kept trying to think, all right, well, I'll just get data, and then I need this in here, so I'm not calling extra network calls. I'm like, well, I need to store that somewhere. I could do it in cache, but some things it's like, why? Because I could just have it locally because it's not going to change that often. And then I started thinking, why not just put it in a database? And then I started thinking, well, if it was in a database, then maybe I could just build my entire database architecture locally and do a sync. And then I had to do research on what database architecture to use because I'm using Mongo database on the back end. So yeah, I went back and forth with that. And then I started thinking, well, I have all these processes that are going to have to run. I have non-data fetching processes that are just logic processes, algorithms. And I don't want to rewrite that code. I don't want it to be duplicated. I don't want to have duplicate code. If I change a feature, I have to do it in 2 places. That's just dumb, I mean, that's a lot of work, and it doesn't make sense. So I started researching what it would look like to compile, build, and deploy my code, my backend code, on the individual device while still keeping the remote access. What that means is synchronizing when available, running locally if logical, but so basically I'll have online features and local features. And it turned into me creating the entire system. I had to clean things up. I had to create. I didn't want my whole UI have to be rebuilt, right? So I built this back-end structure that just basically creates a single point of entry where it hits the, basically it's an API router. The API router then decides based on what it is that we're doing, whether or not it's going to make the call to the network or if it's going to make it to the local system. Now, the idea is that 90% of calls will go to the local system because a lot of the stuff that you're doing can be on your device, your team management, your training, your game planning, all that stuff. Now, it's all synced and it's going to be synced regularly. So it's like it'll keep going onto the network. And even ideally, it syncs immediately. So if for some reason you turn off your phone, your battery dies, it completes, you might lose tiny bits, and that's a risk, of course. Ideally, what we do is we track when an app closes, and then we determine if something did not have a close process. So okay, so an app closes. Android has made it a thing, and in fact, I'm sure iPhone does the same thing, where you can close instantly. I mean, it's basically hitting the X on the top. I mean, the game shuts down. So it needs to be as synchronized as possible, constantly syncing, so you don't lose more than the last action you did. So like even if you're doing a game plan, or you're doing a playbook, I mean, you put a play in, it's synchronized. So you're going to be synchronized most of the time. Running a local game, it'll be different because when you run on the network, the game runs on the back end and it's going to run whether you're there or not. You can't stop a network game from running. Locally you can, but it's going to kick off again. It's not going to allow you just to kill a game. You can't kill a game. It's going to keep track of everything, and when you come back, it's going to want to run the game. I'm not doing, I am making sure that games, you can't bail on a game. You can't restart a game. You can't hit X on the game. A game is going to process. Sorry, you're losing. Suck it up, man. You're going to lose that game. There's no coming back. Unless your team miraculously comes back, but it's not going to be something you can bail on. Now, I hope people don't figure out how and starting to hack the game, but I can't really stop that locally. But this is why all cross-play game is handling over the network. What you do with your AI game, I suppose, if you hack and break the game on your own, well, you broke the game on your own, and I'm not going to worry about it. You may, it won't sync because the data on the other end is not going to know what to do with what you're doing. It won't be able to logisticize it. So yeah. What I may even do is, what I've even been looking into is building in a key that has to be associated with each record. So what ends up happening is if it's not matching a certain sequence and you go in there and you try to match it, this is an encrypted key, your new data or anything you change is not, the game's going to throw it out because it won't match the sequence. You need to have these sequence records in there. So anyway, just saying, that's the plan. So what I'm doing now is, of course, trying to debug all this stuff I did. Getting all this stuff to work. I finally got my local Mongo database, which is what I'm using, or a Mongo, no, not a Light database. No. LightDB, and Go Mobile, not Mongo, Go Mobile. So Mongo, kind of sounds like MongoDB, but it's actually just Go. Go Mobile is going to be what's hosting the code I write, I'll be writing it on the back end and then deploying it to Go Mobile, where Go Mobile will be the local iteration, and I'm going to have a local first processing, which should allow for a fairly fast gameplay because everything's going to happen in the microseconds or whatever it is, milliseconds, to allow you to run the game just at whatever pace it can pull data locally. And most stuff's going to be able to run that way. You can review, search, look at a lot of things, but when you're playing with a multiplayer kind of setup, that stuff doesn't really. That stuff might be slower, depends on your network connection, because that stuff won't actually be stored locally to keep things fair and clean and unable to be broken or whatever. Your cross league, cross platform play will all be back end only. Anyway, so that's what I've been working on. So I have an issue with like a couple of things. I'm getting this correctly. This is supposed to be failing, but it's not returning. It's supposed to return the existing league. So what we failed on which means something broke. Because, all right, so here's what I learned. In my refactoring, I started going through the code. I do this, like I said, this is one of the things you have to do when you work with AI. You have to go through the code and just see what nonsense it's doing to make stuff work. And stuff was working kind of. And then I realized that it wasn't fully, truly doing what it was supposed to be doing. So now I'm trying to correct what it was doing wrong. Okay, so I need to. So I put in this capture. What I was doing. All right. So when I go into my leagues here, I have. I think it's probably created. Yeah, it created the players. And then I have these leagues. So I have one league created for this team, but it's not displaying correctly at the moment because things broke. Like, again, I did this major refactor and rebuild and did a bunch of stuff, and now it's not loading correctly anymore. So I need to review this process. So we do have the checks going in, which is nice. The API handler is what's throwing all this stuff back. And now we just need to figure out why. So I'm just going to go through, start kind of figuring out what's happening here. Sending, create league request. See, that shouldn't even be happening. The user's not, we should not be getting a create league request. So let's go see what's going on here. Fetch default teams list. Fetch default teams list. Empty or invalid response to fetching team selection list. Okay, so this is not working. And team service endpoint is up here. Okay. Server config. I don't think it's an issue of I might have a couple of things going on here. Like I said, I refactored, I moved stuff where it was supposed to be, but I broke some stuff, so bear with me a moment. right, so this does not have the league type, but that's probably because I didn't provide it. Oh, league type. Yeah, that's not a standard. I don't know what standard is. Let's go look at create league. First of all, let's go look up league type. Gotta go back to the beginning. So we got league type, interfaces, service is offline, leagues, service, go down, store. I think it's probably in the create league. Utility, mobile, store, leagues. Teams. Is that in here? Okay, there it is. Create league. I knew it had to be in here somewhere. I think it's setting the wrong default for one thing. I probably should. I'm gonna pass it, but creation air league creation permission. Where's the next one? League type. Alright, where is standard at? And we're going to go look in. Here we go. Nope. This is my default. But I do need to pass that in. What is going on here? Huh. Is it done? I don't know. Did it show me what its latest updates were? What was the latest thing it did? Last updated 1 hour ago. Huh, nice. Features, details. Does it show you what the latest update is? It doesn't. Just whatever. Okay, sorry, I'm getting distracted. All right, so let's go ahead and continue working on the thing I'm supposed to be working on here. All right, so it's AI only, but I think I actually want to call this during the setup. If the thing is, I shouldn't have called it. I mean, okay, no, that's not true. I did delete all of the data, so it should have called it. But and the league ran fine. It looks like it created. I have a league, yay! But it didn't retrieve that league correctly. So what I first need to do is go into my code here, find where it actually calls create league. Let's just see here. Control F, create league somewhere. Oh man, where are we at? Its entire solution, create league, match whole word. Okay, so maybe it's not called that. How's my, oh yeah, my frame rate is really dropping bad. I don't know what's going on with stuff. I mean, really, I'm having some serious system drag issues going on. Ugh. Did it just not find anything? Why is my... Hey, so how about my Broncos? Oh, they keep pulling it off, man. They keep pulling it off. 1 win at a time. Or 10 wins at a time, but... Trying to see... I am... All right, well, maybe... I know there's a create league in here. Let's go to... Leagues data. See, there's create league right there. What the heck, man? How come I couldn't find that? Zero matching create. How come it's not able to find? What the heck is going on? Create league. Create league. It's like, why is my find failing? Huh. There's something not good about how this is working right now. Or not working. I'm going to close this. Something's not right. I have done a ton of updates these last few days, and I don't close that often. I don't restart Unity nearly as often as I probably should. And you know, the Unity Hub updates all the time. It seems like it updates every couple of weeks. I mean, maybe that's normal. I don't think it is. I don't feel like it's a good thing necessarily, but I'm gonna I don't. There we go. Okay. So we have some serious Unity issues going on here. Like my Visual Studio is not searching. And okay. All right, so let's open this. So currently I'm at version 6.2 of Unity. So that's what I've been working with for, I don't know, since it came out. Unity, as I understand it, is not an app you want to keep updating. Wow. Okay. So my brother just asked me for a ride to the airport, which around here is about a 45-minute drive when there's no traffic. And at that time, he's asking probably decent traffic. It's late. I'll probably do it. I mean, whatever. It's not a pleasant drive usually, but I mean, it's not an unpleasant drive. It's just a long drive, right? So, you know, but I'll do it because I just probably will. He doesn't ask all the time, so it's not a big deal, I guess. But yeah, he's going to a job interview in Texas. Texas. It's crazy. How does he even find job interviews? I don't know. I'm impressed that he's able to find a job interview because that has not been my luck. Let's see if this. Let's see if I can get this to run now. If the search will work. I don't know what it was doing earlier that it wouldn't search. But I made a lot of changes earlier, and maybe that had something to do with it. Let's go see create league. And I don't have any match case on there, match whole word, nothing. It should just find it. See, it's like sitting right there. How is it not finding this? I'm like, it should just be popping up right here. How come in? There's like a million versions of it right there. Is it because? Is it not in this? Oh my gosh, check it out. It's not in here. Is there really a filtering going on? Oh my gosh, there's a filter. Why is there filtering on there? I didn't put that in there. I wouldn't even know what to do with that. I just like to find it all. Okay, so. All right, so I have a lot of create league calls. Mobile SDK wrappers, which is not one I need to worry about right now. API handlers, don't care. Nope. Leagues data. Leagues data is this one, but there's a call to it. Server config. Nope, that's not it. Offline first initialization. Nope. League data. Nope. Leagues models. Nope. User session manager. This could be announcement board panel. Create league. Set league data. Initialize session data from create league response. Team selection manager. Announcement board panel. Create a minimal league response with just the team ID and league ID. Show team name selection. Team name selection. We're not doing a team name selection yet. There it is, create league. Called create league API. Create league for a user, but there's a condition for this. We don't want to create a league for a user if we already have one. So something is triggering this. Gotta go find what is triggering this. Check for existing league or create league. Okay. Add API call to check if user has existing league without a team assignment. For now, we'll just create. What do you mean? We do have this, and it was already in place. What the heck? Check for existing league or create. Okay, so whatever this is doing, this is. No existing league found. Create new league. Okay, so this is wrong. List leagues. Leagues equal. Why is this disabled? Get leagues by user ID. Okay, so that should exist. Leagues data is. There should be a get league by user ID or something like it. So let's go look at. I don't even know why this. I mean, this was already doing this, which is really weird. Leagues data. And something got you know, I add functionality and AI sneaks in some weird changes sometimes. It bugs me. So I got leagues. I don't have a league service. Assign user to team. Assign user to team, and that's okay. So I think what the problem is where I had stuff doing. All right. Get team by ID. So we don't have a get league. Oh, you know what it was doing? That's right. That's right. I remember now. Okay, so I had code in here. I found what it was doing. It was basically fetching all the teams, all the teams in any random league it found. It just went and found a league. And I was like, what the heck are you doing? And it worked because I had only created one league, one valid league that would come up. So it was getting all of the data and it would show it and work. And then I was like, wait a minute, this isn't even filtering on anything. How is this? It's just pulling. And it's like, this is going to be broken. And so I think when AI did it, oh, well, let me fix that. And it just wiped out the call altogether. It didn't fix it. It just undid the break. Is that a thing? So yeah, I have to. So the thing is, I'm not sure this is the place to do this. Team selection manager. I feel like this should be done before we even call the selection manager, because team selection manager is what should happen. Check. Yeah, see, this is like weird. That should not be happening. Team selection manager is only supposed to happen after we have a team to select. We're trying to select a team. So that's like, we shouldn't be inside of the selection manager at this point. So let's go to the announcement board panel. And the announcement board panel should actually be looking for, in fact, not even that. This should be like, check for existing league. I mean, and honestly, I shouldn't, if it doesn't have, yeah, we're broken. We're broken. Okay, so the first thing that needs to happen, the process flow, is user logs in. Once user is logged in, so this is app initialize. I'm gonna try to. I like to work with Claude, and the reason I like to work with Claude is because Claude gives me pretty good feedback on what's happening, on what it wants to do to change things up. All right, so what do I need to do here? Do I need to close all these because Claude's not responding to me? And we'll restart Claude. All right, and these ones can all be, I guess, wiped out. These guys aren't running. Sure. And then go Control-Shift-P, run task, file services. Okay, so let's go to app initialize. Being lazy. I want to hand this off to AI, but I also want AI not to break anything again. Sometimes you just got to go find it. I think I have a lot of dead code, and I have this function I put into Unity. It's going to go through and identify all the code that I have, what's not running, what is running, and I'm slowly trying to reset everything. Because I think there's a fair amount of not quite rights going on here. All right, so I got the user session manager. And all right, so initialize session data from create league response, set league data, active league ID, clear all session data. Set team data. So what we want to do, try to find first object, create a new game object with component if none exists, create new singleton instance. Okay, let's create a user session, and then we also cannot set null team data. Team. So where is set team data being called? All right, so this must be getting called from somewhere else. Let's go see where we're getting this from. User teams. Oh gosh, we're still calling from the user team selection panel. How come that's so backwards? User team selection panel. Why are we getting that? Set leak data, clear session, log session state. Load session from backend. Get user session. All right, here we go. So maybe my get user session is not pulling the right data right now. User ID, username, user type, team count. If username is null, set active team info if available, otherwise clear it session dot active team. Clear team related data packet has no active team. So I have an active. All right, let's go look in my user account. Follow the trail. User account. Oh, no, user account. Tracking down bugs. Gotta love it. All right, so we are trying to figure out where my active team is. Which, see, there is no team assigned to him, so there won't be that. So we won't have an active team. So I think what I need to do is kind of re-identify the process of loading stuff so that it does things in the correct order. And see, here's the problem. Here's part of why I got into here and digging a little deeper in the code, because I think somewhere along the lines things got twisted a little bit. And this probably comes from the order in which I was developing things. Like I would create the league stuff, I'd create the user account, I'd add some functionality to tie those together, but they would get out of order in how they worked. So the lower level thing is doing this processing that really shouldn't be happening at that point. So I'm trying to untangle it now and rethread it so things fall in the proper order. So at an app at app initialization, which is basically the first thing that should be happening. And that's kind of what I'm trying to track down here is my app initializer, because announcement board panel does stuff, but it's not supposed to be the first stuff it does. Here, app loading panel. Okay, so this one should do some stuff. This is like the first thing that happens. This is loading all of the data, all the resources, but even this probably shouldn't happen yet. Let's see, app loading is logged in. See, I think we have even a higher level process. User doesn't need to click it. Load session data from backend if not already loaded. So I don't think we're supposed to be here even yet. The first thing that happens is it's supposed to be like the title screen panel, game plan fields, game plan. Game setup, player identifier, player. That's not it. Core. Pop-up. Animation, football, forest, game, pro, quick, scroll, rec, scroll, stadium. Gosh, I have a lot of hearts that need to be grouped in better folders. Text, file manager, tooltip. Training. This is all stuff that's related to. It just needs to be better organized. Image loader. Yeah, definitely utils. Title screen manager. I think that's the one. Which is probably not. Yeah, it does stuff. Okay, activate app load panel as the first and only action. Okay, so that's what's happening. So it's going to trigger the app load, and then we go in here. Okay, so then we trigger the app load and we set that thing active, get the app loading panel component and set up event listeners. And then the first thing that should happen on authentication success, which I'm not sure what is going on here. This async method lacks an await operator and will run asynchronously. Yeah, I know that's been a thing for a while. I should probably deal with that. On authentication success, I don't know why. I should probably just add it. Add the await. Store user ID in session immediately after authentication. If user ID, so if we don't have a user ID, we go into here. Check team assignment for authenticated user. Hide other panels. Why would this ever be null? Navigation panel better not be null. See, this is something AI does. AI will protect you from errors, but this is a bad error. If I don't have a set navigation panel, game blows up, and this does not give you an error. It doesn't do anything. It's like, okay, it's error. We'll just pretend like it didn't happen. We'll just like, oh, we don't have a panel, then let's just pretend like we don't need it. So I have navigation panel here, but what I should do is have like, and then it does these kind of things. Oh, see, this one checks, and I have a navigation panel check on start. So why do I need to check it here? I've already checked. So this is stupid. I don't like checks after we've gone and done the checks. We've already validated. We should have loading panel, navigation panel. Those things have to exist. The game will not work without them. Not correctly anyway. So we're here, navigation, loading. Okay, so we're good. We checked those first thing, so we don't need them again. So we hide these panels because why? Navigation panel are the buttons. Loading panel is I believe loading panel is the progress bar. Playbook game. I think it is. Or is it a user account? No. Where the heck is it? Oh, home screen. Okay, never mind. All right, so here. So we have the app load, which is the only thing title screen manager executes, which then goes through and calls panels or progress bar. At the login, right? What the heck is this other panel? What is the loading panel? Is that the app loading panel? Activate app load panel. Oh, okay, so it is. It's the loading panel. That's not consistently named, but okay. I don't need this either. I don't care for success buttons. I like failure buttons. If things aren't working, tell me about it. But if things are working, shut up. Don't clutter my logs. Yeah, it's just error. App loading panel component not found. So if we get past the app loading, what I would like to do is kind of have like I want to build a logging system that I can do, like I can turn on like verbose logging. Now there are some places where I have that in place, but it's not built the way I want it to, and it's going to take probably more effort than I actually want to do right now. Start. See, and start method called. Now, I mean, this is like the first thing, but I don't need it. What I would like to do is like have all my starts say, call this. But the thing is, even then, yeah, I guess it could be a good flow process. That's one of the things I would like to do, like my starts or awakes or whatever being called. This is like important because I need to make sure I catch that. Then we go down to the app, activate app load, and then we check that. We're going to go, all right, if we don't, why are we checking for the loading panel again? We literally just checked for it right here and blew up because it wasn't there. Why are we calling this again? It's just redundant garbage. When you check it at create, unless something deletes it in process, which would suck, but hopefully it never happens. I don't even how would you even delete it in process, because the whole thing's compiled, right? So you can't get rid of it after it's there. Get the app loading panel component and set up event listeners. All right. Title screen manager, app loading panel component not found. Oh, we're still looking for panels? Oh gosh. I don't need you to check for that again. All right. Now we set up our event listeners and we're done. Upload panel, set active. Get component, event listeners, and then what? We're done? We don't do anything else? So app loading panel, when it fires on the active state. See, I've got some really funky stuff going on here. It's like I have the title screen manager, right? And this is a component that works for the title screen panel, which, okay, whatever, title screen. But then, you know, I have, oh God, this is just so terrible. I should call these something else. Like, I'm gonna put this, for one, this needs to be up here. I'm gonna put it in here. Because there's, where'd it go? Panels. So it's in the panels because title screen manager is actually in here, but it should be a component. I have a lot of weird stuff. Like, not all my scripts have panel. I don't know. I gotta figure out a better naming process. Because, yeah, these are just not named well. I don't have this named. It should be called title screen panel, because it's just, it's not even, what, I don't even have it called title screen. It's called home screen. And really, I need a title screen and a home screen, because home screen is like where you're at when the game starts, but a title screen is just this image that pops up and just looks cool while the app loads. That's really all a title screen is. This should not be that. Home screen is a different thing. It's the home page, the starting place of the app, and that's different. But I have it acting like it's its own thing. And I have, you know, title screen manager, but this title screen manager should be on its own panel. I should have a title screen, but that's, I guess, down the road. All right, so we're doing more checks. I don't need. We're gonna dump that and dump that. All right, I don't know what just happened, but I feel like I'm doing this twice. Did it like undo my changes? Did I like miss something and it undid what I did? Wait, did I somehow duplicate it? What the heck? Why did I? All right. Cut. Paste. Yes. All right, it's not allowing me. I see the problem. It's not allowing me to do this. Maybe because it's bound to something. It won't let me move it because it's bound. Whatever. Just don't like where it's at. It's just like not a good place. Just sitting out there in the middle of nowhere along with a pop-up manager and activate team switcher. I mean, these are just like random components all attached, and I hate it. I hate it. But for whatever reason, it's not going to let me move it right now, so we'll deal with it later. Okay. Oh my gosh, what is going on? Where? What? That was weird. Okay. What time is it? It's 10:04. Maybe I need to go to bed. I did go to bed way too late last night. App loading complete. All right, so we have this. So we need to go over to the app loading panel, which is this guy, which is basically what's happening here. We got awake, add listener to start button, which is fine because that's part of the upload. And then we go reset state, ensure button, click authentication status, check authentication and load, trigger authentication. We must be getting authenticated, okay. I'm dumping a lot of these because I've had a serious problem with over cluttering of code. Of my console. I got like 500 messages. And that's just a bit much. Is authenticated. We are being authenticated. User is authenticated. Yay. Hide start button. Alright. Hide start button. User doesn't need to click it. Okay, so we don't need it. That's correct. Don't need to tell everybody. What the heck? Oops. What is it? What? All right, so we have start button, check. We do need a start button. Hopefully it's not checking every time we need a start button. Oh, start button on awake. It's got a button, so we don't need, it's checking on awake. We don't need to check it here again. Clean up on aisle 3. Fire authentication success event. I don't need an event for success. Again, it's checking for something we've already checked for. Stop it. Okay. What we are doing now, we come into check authentication and load. Hide start button. We don't need it. Load session data. So we are going into the load session data. This is probably where we need to do this next bit on load session data. Because I think that's when the user needs to know if they've got load app resources. So we load assets automatically. This is just loading up everything. So we have to get, this is the key one that's going to happen. It's going to pull all my data in. It's probably even going to do syncing and everything. It's like a big, this is a big monster that happens during load. But first, we can't load up everything until we first get our session data. And this is the one we're going to go look at right now. Go to implementation. Okay, so we got this load session data as part of the app loading panel. Check if session is already loaded. Don't need that. Loading session data from backend. Okay, so this might be invalid. Can we get session data locally? No, because we have to. Could not get user ID from token. Token may be invalid. So we're going to try to pull the token, which we should probably. I need a. I think I need to build a tree. Maybe AI can build it for me. I want to build a flow tree from the time the app starts to where everything kind of branches off. Because I don't like how this is set up. Yes, I have things that are going to start in different places, but I need a flow tree for the initial startup. what processes are called through what things, so that I can see that tree. Because yeah, some stuff is weird here. So we're going to check if session is already loaded. It's not. A get user ID from token. We're going to do this. Now we're not having a problem with this, so we're getting past that. Additional validation. Check if the user is actually logged in. They are, so we don't need that. Validate user extracted from token. I shouldn't need that either. Load session from backend. Now we're going to go get the session. Now the session probably, see the thing is, I don't know if I want to do a load from backend because that's going to preclude my ability to run to run offline, right? Because I can't even start the game without a backend session. So what I might need to do is figure out how best like I might have see all right, here's a negative here's a very negative view of how this game what I might do is all right, here's the negative view. And people complain about this, and I agree. When a game dies, goes offline, the business goes out of business, they need to kill their servers. I mean, you have to. I mean, you can't force a company to keep their servers running. But some functionality, if somebody's paid for the game, they should be allowed to be able to continue running the game as is. Maybe they can no longer run against other people. Maybe they've lost all online capability because that's an online feature. But what they might be able to do is run AI games and still use it and play it and just do whatever the game was designed to do locally. But I'm trying to think. What I might do is something like I don't know, maybe we do some kind of backend thing if that ever happens, where we just can say, you know, make all tokens non-expiring. So once you've logged in for that time, everybody who's see, that won't work for people who come back. They've got this app they paid for, want to come back and play it, and the company's dead. I was thinking we could trigger everybody's thing go, but if you've lost access to the server, you're not going to get that token extension. I think I'm going to change this thing to called load session, and I'm going to have yeah, I think I need to change this. I'll work with AI to do that. I don't need this. Fail load session data. Catch. So let's go to this. This is me tracing in what I can and can't do. Load session should be from local DB via sources. Token should be updated. All right, so we're going to go in here, and this is what what I like to do is create a ClickUp link here to do this. So all right, so I have a tool, and it's a cool tool. Super cool, super awesome. I love it. I created it, so of course I do. But we're going to go here. We're going to go to App Loading Panel. You know, the reason I don't do more work directly in VS Code for this stuff is the C#, I don't know, coloring is not as clean. I'll show you what I mean. So if I go to the FTZF assets, scripts, and then we go down here all the way to panels. Nope, it's probably under game processing. Game something else. Nope. Sit. I don't know, where's it at? UI. Oh, it's under UI. UI. Panels. And then we have App Loading Panel. Okay, so, and it's probably just me. I just feel like this is, I'm not used to looking at it this way. I guess that's what it comes down to. Because when I go here and I'm looking at the app loading panel.cs and the function that it's, I don't know if it's split up weird. We do check for a start button, load session, and then I added, oh, let's go and save this because that's probably not back there. There we go. That's what the problem is. Okay, so we have load session data, and then we go here, and where's my to-do? Load session should be local. All right, so here, what is delegate to agent? Oh, I can give. Oh, is that really a thing? I can. What does delegate to agent do? Does that mean I can give it to a Claude code and it will write that? I assume. I don't know what this means. What does that mean? Claude code usage monitor. Oh, nice. I am curious about trying that. I have just because. Because we've already checked to see if they're logged in. And theoretically, loading the session shouldn't even be a problem. Because I've already checked if they're logged in. I haven't even gotten to the point. See, it is logged in. So that's not even the problem. That's I don't even know if I need it. Do I need to change this? Yeah. I know it's getting late. What time is it? 10:20. Dang it, my water's always empty. What is tomorrow, Wednesday? I should probably hit the hay, guys. It's been one of those days. Lots of stuff going on. Tracing through the code here. Trying to figure out why my teams aren't loading correctly. It's missing a step, is what's happening. It's trying to load the session. It finds that we have no. It's supposed to look to see if there's a team. If it doesn't have a team, see, like this thing. Notice how this says blue, purple, and lots of blue. It's just weird, right? It just doesn't like call out this is a function or method. And I can click on it over here and it'll take me to it. Like if I go here and go to implementation, it takes me right to load session from backup. But will that happen if I go here? Go to implementation. Yeah, see, it can't trace this for some reason. See? It's I don't know. It's like it doesn't know what this is, which is strange. Even though here it had no trouble finding it. So it's like it's just not declared the same. I don't know if maybe there's a I don't know what that is. Can't tell you what the problem is. How many places is this called? It's actually called in quite a few places. Okay, well, the session manager has it, and then the login register and the app loading. Why do I have 4 places where the session is loaded? That seems like a whole bunch of lot of loading. Handle login. So we log in, we load the session. But if app loading has a start button and they click the start button, add listener, is logged in. If they're not logged in, else user's not logged in, show start button, set active. Okay, so this one won't load the session if we don't go there. Okay, so then it goes in here. Start button shown. I don't need that. I mean, really, this is just more positive reinforcement. We just did this. But whatever. I'll leave that one because it's kind of a negative. All right, so we have set. We're going to have this become active. But nothing happens at this point. Somebody clicks, it opens the other panel. And I'm guessing that must close the app. No, because app load has to finish running. So does it recall this? Because if these guys are just going to turn around and call app loading again, app loading is going to run. And it's going to go through and it's going to do all of its stuff. And that means we don't need any of this stuff. What does this do after it checks for all this stuff? Login text, close login panel, invoking on login exit, event. Handle login and success. invoke. So we're going to invoke the on login exit. Who is calling this event? Who is calling this? Or we're waiting for it. Title screen manager is looking for that. And it's looking for it many times. Oh, that's just setting up the event. All right, so we're setting it up, destroying it, and those are both destroys. Wait a minute. Remove listener. Wait, we're adding a listener on destroy? Oh, set log. Oh, wait. Confused. All right, so the destroy. Login register instance. Remove listener twice. So we remove it on destroy. Oh, we'll do a remove and an add at the same time, just in case it already exists. We're not trying to add it twice. Okay, and then on the last one, it just removes it if it's there. Okay, still doesn't explain where it's being, who's capturing the response. That's what I'm trying to figure out. So okay, this is probably just me not knowing what I'm doing here. I don't remember how I don't know for sure how this is firing. On auth event. Oh, that must be what it's firing, is the on auth event. Okay. Let's go find on auth event. There it is. Called. All right, so what happens here? All right, user authenticated. We're good. Ensure app load panel is active. All right, so we're reactivating that. We already have a check for loading and navigation. Which means we don't need this nonsense. Oh, we could do this. Let's just make sure it's on. I don't know why it would be inactive, but it probably should be because I don't really care for. Okay, so we are in fact running the on auth event. It succeeds. We check to make sure this guy is active, and then we fire this process again, triggering authentication check on app loading panel. So it's going to check again, and it's going to fire on app load. So there is no reason for all these to exist. I mean, the events, yes, but we don't need to have the session creator. So when we go here or here, well, that's the one I want. Is this one. Okay, so to keep this clean, we want to go pretty much everywhere that's going to be going back, the login, everything that's loading these, it doesn't need to do that. This whole bit doesn't have to happen. This whole piece of code is nonsensical. Because we don't need to load the session again. Just let it go back to the caller and reprocess. Load session data. We don't need to do that. Login error text. Closing login panel and invoking on login exit event. If success. Da 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 da. Don't need. Oh wait. Hide login panel, exit success. If not, okay, tell us what happened because something blew up. Button re-enabled, that's fine, but we don't need this. Because we already have login failed here, why do we need to have it there? Yeah. So verbose. Login sync, return success. Button disable calling login sync. Sheesh. Sure app loading panel is not covered, the login form. Button re-enabled after exception. Trying to wipe out the 400 and some login messages that I'm getting. And a lot of that comes from redundant crap like this. Load session, we don't need to do this. This whole bit's going away. And that can go away too. And that can go away too. Honestly, I don't know what this is. I have a lot of things setting this login error text. It must be raising it to something. It's just setting it everywhere. I don't know where it's going though. It's setting a variable that must be triggering back, passing it up the chain. But errors are good to have. I like having errors. I mean, I don't like having errors. I like being notified of errors. Error messages are good. Okay, so I think we got rid of all the unnecessary calls to that. Because what's happening here is it's going to go through and create. It calls the app loading panel, which does an authentication check. If it fails the authentication check, it prompts you and says, here's the login, do your registration, do whatever. When it's done, it fires this event that tells the screen that had it loaded in the first place to, hey, we're logged in now. It calls the app loading and says, try again. And it calls and tries to run all the process again. Thus, it will try to load the session on its own. We don't need to have all these extra places where it's happening. One time, lets you know, cycles back around, tries again. Just keeping the login to logging in, and it's just making sure that certain panels are open and closed. To some extent, if I already know, what's more important is that the login panel disappears, and then we're good. But I think we're fine either way. I probably have a little too. I still probably have too much junk going on here, but I think we're okay. So. That should clean that up. Let's go ahead and refresh this. So now we only have the one call, and this is just a debug saying we're doing it, and this is the actual function. So that means I can change this. I'm just going to call this load user session data. And we'll go to this one. Okay, so that one's probably fine. It's an error. Don't want that right now. All this. All right, save all that. That should be a little cleaner now. So we're going to go in, we'll load our user session data, which makes a lot more sense word-wise. And we go to implementation. Now this is the one thing we need to, we will need to look into, because now I'm going through the process. That's an error. Session data is null. We're fine. We're getting past all this. But we have user type has multiple teams. It's doing a check. I think it's this one that's coming back with something empty. Because user type, username has multiple teams. Team count. We should have a team count of at least one. If we have not, which I don't think it's coming back with a 1, which is wrong. Which is correct. It's not coming back with anything. Then we set basic user info, blah, blah, blah. If user type is null, we have problems. User type is empty in session, fetching full user object. Retrieve user type not found. I don't need a retrieved. All right, so error fetching is null or empty. Session user ID is empty. Okay. Cannot set active team info if available, otherwise clear it. Session.activeTeam is not null, else it is null, and we're going to have all this stuff empty. User has no active team. Team count. Log session state. Why would they have no session? Why would they have no active team? Shouldn't happen. But we are getting a problem here. Because it must be this get user session. But we're not getting the trigger that says, so we must be doing something in app loading panel after we get the session. So we get the session, and then it's doing the next steps. Whatever happens after load session data. On authentication success. Because that says set the team data. And then we fire this. We're invoking whatever this is. Private async void, authentication success. What's it do? It's calling on authentication success. Which is this. I don't really think the title screen manager should be doing that either, because we're not done loading. I feel like that should be a app loading process, not here. Store user ID in session immediately after authentication. And then what? Something is still not right. Still not right. So we just trigger all these things, removes. On loading complete. So, okay, so yeah, all right, so you log in. All right, so that makes sense. So you're logging in. It says, hey, we logged in. But what's weird is we're coming back to here and we're saying app loading complete, which it will have run all the stats, all the downloads. It will have done all that stuff. Okay, so we aren't going back to the app loading panel. Okay, I guess that makes sense. And then we are running app loading complete, which is what happens here. And this is check authentication and team assignment. This is the next step of the process. Okay, so the next step of the process is we've logged in, we've loaded everything up. Data's available, supposedly. Now we're going to check the team assignment for authenticated user, which is really weird. Check authentication. Why do we need to check authentication again?
Are you streaming right now?
I am, but I'm about to go offline. So are you getting ready to? You're gonna run? Okay, that's fine. It is 10:40. I need to hit the hay and get some sleep. So I'll finish on this step.